This podcast is intended for adults 18 years and older. It contains explicit language and sexual situations. All thoughts and opinions expressed are of our own and not of those of any specific group, employer, or individual, and is not intended to take as professional advice.
Welcome to the Foreplay Podcast. Join the journey, experiences, and sexual adventures of two high school sweethearts navigating through the swinging lifestyle as millennials. Come along for the ride. Dare to play?
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Foreplay Podcast. This is Bella.
This is Jase.
Jase.
I tried to follow you because I didn't know you were going to do that. I tried to do a little ditty as well, just for fun.
I wanted to bring this up, but we got an email from a company, and they called us Bella and Jesse. And that just made me laugh so hard. It's funny because people don't usually, I think it's just because my name always goes first, and it's kind of difficult to get Bella wrong, but Jase always gets his name incorrect.
Always, but
quite a bit.
I've gotten a lot of different
Jason,
versions.
Chase, C-H-A. Most of the time it's Chase. People think you're Chase.
I got Jose one time.
Jose, yeah.
But Jesse was a new one. Because that one doesn't even sound that close to me. Jesse and Jase. I mean, it's a little bit close.
No, that's pretty close. But you have to add on like 2 additional letters.
Yeah, it's also normally misspelled, which I understand why, because Jace normally is J-A-C-E, mine is J-A-S-E.
Have you ever got Jase?
Jaycee?
Or J-C?
Oh, like Jesus Christ?
Well, no. Like J.C. Chauvet.
No, I've never,
From NSYNC, of course.
I don't think I've ever gotten that one, but I'm sure it'll happen at some point. Also, I will say that lots of the time in lifestyle events, it's so loud that a name like Jace is very hard to understand, so little name necklaces that I can show are really helpful.
But when it's on the internet, that's what, because it was like an email from a company, and I was like, come on. If you're going to pitch yourself or you're going to do something like that, you're going to go by Jesse, or you're going to
Yeah, you should
get
at
the
least,
names
you
right.
should at least make sure the name's correct. Anyway, today we are going to be talking about something. This was actually...
So we're going to be talking about something.
Yes, we are going to be talking about something, and we are going to be talking about some reasons that you might be undesirable in the swinging lifestyle.
Or coming off as undesirable. Or
Yes.
maybe you feel like people are avoiding you. And
Yes.
these might be the reasons why.
And so this is just going to be a few different reasons that we have found that some are things that we have personally experienced with others. Some are stories that we have heard, that things that have happened with people. And so we are just going to kind of give you for a reason. Yeah, and lots of these things, when it comes to these, are things that are very changeable, that are very fixable, and maybe it's just things that people are unaware, and it just could be pushing people away, and that's not what you want to do. So we're going to be talking about those things, so you can avoid them.
Which is a great segue into the first one, which is you might be being way too pushy.
Oh my God, I set that up. Alley-oop.
Wasn't that something that I didn't know what it was for a long time? Is an alley-oop like a layup?
No. It's
See, I did
whenever
it
someone
again.
throws the ball to someone and they grab it in the air and dunk it. It's like I set you up to dunk it.
Oh, yeah. Layup wouldn't make any sense.
No, that's completely by yourself. So that's okay.
Alley-oop.
Yep.
Wouldn't it be funny if somebody's name was Allie and her last name was Oop?
That
Alley-oop.
I would feel so bad for someone named Alley-oop.
I think that's a great stage name.
A stage name, sure. An actual child named Alley-oop would be unfortunate, I think. If anyone listening has a child named Alley-oop, I'm sorry. Your child has an unfortunate name.
Sorry to break it to you. But, okay, so being too pushy. You might be pushing for play way too quickly and way too harshly, and you're making other people feel very uncomfortable. And yes, the lifestyle does have play in it. And yes, some people want to eventually play with others and turn it into that more sexual thing, but it shouldn't be the very first thing. And when it is, and you're pushing forward with that first, you come off as very aggressive, and it makes people feel like a piece of meat, and you're just seeing them for sexual gratification and not seeing them as people, and people are people and should be treated as such. So stop being so pushy and stop going into the lifestyle putting play as the very first priority.
Yeah, I totally agree with this. And I do think it varies in different situations, right? Like, I can see that if you guys are all in a playroom and you see a couple next to you and like you're in this environment, how you could be like, hey, you guys want to come over here? Like, and something like that wouldn't be too pushy to me, right?
Right.
But we've had so many people over the years who have like come up to us that we have never spoke to, and they're like, hey, how are you guys? It's like, do you guys want to go to the playroom? It's like, I don't even know your name, sir or ma'am. And so I feel like that, like, it makes you feel not good. Like, people are like, hey, we should play.
Like, when we want to fuck. And that's
Yeah,
it.
and like I understand that, like, that is part of the lifestyle, but to me and to most people, having some sort of connection anyway, even if it's not some super deep connection, having some sort of connection before pushing towards play is not the vibe to me. And also, I want to say too that sometimes maybe you've even know people, right? And maybe that, like, you guys have had friendships, and maybe you've played before, but also in those times, if sometimes it's just not the right environment to play, right? So even if maybe you guys have said, hey, we want to play at some time, it doesn't mean that, like, right then is always the right time. So, reading that environment and, like, trying to make sure everyone is comfortable in that headspace, I think also goes into that as well.
Some people might like that. I know that I've seen people who really are in this, and they're not really wanting like a deep connection, and they are just kind of wanting the play aspect. And there are some people like that, so you might be able to find some people like that. Just know it's not the majority, and so you're getting rejected more because more people are not like that versus that are. I also whenever we were in Europe, in Spain, it is a lot more casual, and it's a lot more like, hey, you want to go fuck? And then they do. That was a lot for us. And if you're doing more lifestyle stuff in the like Americas, and like here in Mexico or in America, going to hotel takeovers, that kind of thing, and even at the resorts or even the cruises that go out of America, where it's mostly Americans who are in the lifestyle or who are on the ship or the demographic, you will find that it's not as casual, and there's a conversation or a building of trust before it's the right time to suggest play. So you could be pushing people away because you're coming off way too aggressive.
Yeah, and we're not saying that, like, if play is what your priority is, that's like some bad thing. If you really don't need a connection, I mean, then that's who you are, and that's okay. But we're just talking about how you might be pushing people away by doing that.
Yeah.
And know that as a general rule, most people do need some sort of connection. So like Bella said, if you are doing that, like just trying to get people to play and not really having that, you are probably going to slightly offend some people and also probably not have quite as much success. So maybe that's one of those things where in that situation, maybe you don't need a lot of conversation, but maybe you can try to, more meet people in the middle, where you try to have some sort of connection. Then that might help others feel more comfortable.
Another way that you could be being way too pushy is you need to respect the boundary and accept the rejection if you're trying to push for play or you're trying to ask for play, and then the other couple or whoever, or the girl, guy, whoever it is, they say no. So if they decline, stop pushing for it. Like, accept that, politely accept that, and just say, okay, yeah, great. And then move on and stop trying to push for something even more. When someone has already said no, accept that no.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and just know that, we've there's been times when we feel like there's couples that we're like, maybe if we kept talking to them and we kept getting to know them, like, I feel like play could be something that we'd be interested in. But if we feel like we haven't had that connection, then it gets pushed and we're like, no, and then they try and like, hey, well, we should still do it anyway. I feel like it would make that maybe at some point turn into I would never really want to.
Yeah, you have to be able to read the room. Mm-hmm. If you're flirting with people or you're seeing if they want to play and you're not getting any feedback from that or from them in that way, then at that point, understand that, this is probably not something that they're wanting to do, so don't push for it. Because it's probably either going to push them completely away or, like Jay said, make them not even want to, even if it happens to be on the table for them at some point. Everybody's on their own journey. Everyone is taking it at their own pace, and having that friendship connection is so important for so many people. And when you're sharing your partner, there's so much trust that has to be there. Like, it's difficult to just want to do it right all at once, like right then and there. Like a lot of people want to build something and just know that we can trust you as friends or as people, and we like you as people, and don't want to get into bed like that quick.
Yeah, and just know that these things can always vary, right? Like there is times when like maybe you and a couple, like you guys are just very physically into each other and you don't have a whole lot of conversations and it turns into that. We're not saying that like it's wrong to play quickly or not to have a connection to play. But we're just saying as a general rule, possibly if you keep having people kind of turn you down or you don't seem like you're really ever having those success when you're moving stuff towards play and you are the people who are trying to play really fast and not make any connection, that could just be a reason why.
Yeah.
Another thing that I want to talk about that could be leading you into maybe seeming undesirable is something that we were notoriously guilty of towards the beginning of our lifestyle journey, which was sitting alone. And yes, so you do not need to get up and talk to people. You do not need to. It's about a journey with you and your partner. But I want to talk about something that we were told that changed my perspective on this forever. Me and Bella were really nervous when we first got into the lifestyle. So we would sit on a couch and we would have a drink and we would talk to each other and we'd look at couples and be like, hopefully somebody comes and talks to us, and we would almost be like whispering, so we were being respectful just to not, bother people around us. And we had a friend who later on we met when we started to talk to people a little bit more. He was like, did you guys know that you seemed so unapproachable and seemed like you really did not want anyone to come up to you when you just were sitting on that couch talking to each other? And that was the last thing that we wanted. All we wanted was for people to come and talk to us, but we were just too nervous to do it. So I just want to let you know, like maybe you're a newer couple in the lifestyle and you're really wanting to make friends and you're like, why aren't people coming up and talking to us when we're sitting here? A lot of the times, if you are sitting there, you might be coming off like, hey, we don't really want to be approached. Especially
or standoffish. You could be coming off as like, oh, we think we're too good. We don't really want to go up to people. We want people to come to us. And we did want people to come to us, but not because we were being standoffish, because we were too nervous to go talk to other people. Mm-hmm. But from the outside perspective, they don't know that. Like, they don't know what's going in your head. So the way that it comes off is that you're sticking to yourself, you're sticking to your partner, and it could be that you're too nervous, or it could be that you just don't even want to talk to people.
Yeah, so. And another thing that kind of goes along with that is if you are a couple who has been in a lifestyle for a while, I think that it's not like you're opposed to playing with newer couples, but I think that a lot of people who've been in lifestyle for a while know that on occasion, sometimes when couples are newer, maybe they don't have their communication quite down yet or things like that. And whenever you are sitting there kind of whispering to yourself, even being in lifestyle for a long time, I think that some people might think that you're just like really new and either maybe you don't want to be talked to or maybe you're not quite ready. And so if you are going to sit there and you are going to talk, maybe if you sit up a little bit straighter and have that more confidence where you don't look quite as nervous, I think you can also make it seem like, hey, maybe people do want people to come up and talk to them because they look confident, they're having fun, they're smiling, they don't seem like reserved or standoffish. I think if you kind of present yourself in a more confident, I'm here to make friends type manner, I think that could also help if you are just going to sit in one area.
Yeah, body language is a huge thing. So sitting and having your arms crossed or just having your legs crossed and just sitting back and looking like you're judging everybody, even though you might not be, but it looks like you are. And so people are going to not flock towards you in that way. Yeah. I think that if you're nervous to talk to people and you're wanting people to come approach you, standing together is actually a better way to do that rather 100%. Than sit.
It's so much easier to approach somebody who is standing
yeah.
because something about I think there's something even like maybe subconscious that if you're standing, you're able to move and leave, but like if you're sitting down, you're kind of stuck there, right? So I think that like there's something even like subconscious about like if they're sitting there, they can't really leave if I go talk to them, so they probably don't want to be talked to.
Or maybe people would think that you're saving the seat next to you for somebody else. Like maybe you're already with other friends or something. So yeah, standing I think is better.
Yeah, and like maybe make a lap. Or maybe even if you're going to go to the club, don't sit in the same exact spot every week just because it's the spot that makes you comfortable, which is what we did. every single time. Or maybe sit in that spot for the first hour while you get a little bit warmed up and then walk around, right? Like there's lots of different options. You don't have to go talk to people, but we're just letting you know that if people aren't coming up and approaching you when you're sitting down, that's probably why.
Yeah, you could be you could be feeling undesirable because of that. And so to combat that, like you could either stand and like, do that. But even better than that is putting yourselves out there, actually going and walking around and making those connections, like you and your partner, not letting other people dictate the night for you or the friends that you're going to make, but you go try and make those connections and engage with other people and walk around and walk confidently. And that way people are going to see that you're engaging with others, and it's probably going to make it more likely that they will come and engage with you.
Another thing is pushing for people to change their boundaries. So if you are pressuring others to break their rules and boundaries, that's completely unacceptable. We're going to give you a couple examples of things that we have had friends who have experienced some of these things. And so a couple examples of
And
that.
things that we've experienced.
Yeah, but for these two examples in my head right now that I was going to say, we haven't personally experienced them, but I know that they happen.
Oh.
So one is the thought of saying, hey, well, we normally don't take pictures or videos, but would you guys be fine taking picture or video just this one time? Like, we promise we won't share them with anybody. It's just for the four of us. Even though you don't normally do it, what about that? Or another one of those is, hey, well, I know we also use protection, but actually we got tested really recently, and so what if we don't use protection because we have a test we can show you? And we're not saying that, like, if you have an idea like that it's bad to ask. But when a rule is established, you need to respect that rule and not push you like, well, what about just this one time? Or what about just this? Or what, like, no. When someone says no, then no is the answer. And if you need that for the experience to be fun for you, then it's best to realize that you guys do not fit. You guys do not mesh. Like, so if you need to do a video whenever you're recording and people say no, if you can't enjoy that experience without filming a video, then it's best for you guys just not to play.
I think a more common example, because that one's kind of like a pretty intense example, but some couples don't like to kiss on the mouth. They reserve kissing on the mouth just for them and their partner, and they feel like that's too intimate with other people. And a lot of couples in the lifestyle do need that kissing and making out to feel sexy and to get there and it's a big part of the play experience for them. So if a couple says that we don't kiss above the neck at all, and then you feel like that's something that really is part of the play aspect that you really enjoy and that you really need, then that's when it's good to realize, okay, our play styles just don't really match, so it's probably best if we don't play. So don't try to push them to say, well, we have to kiss, so will you guys do it? You know what I mean? Like, just accept that you guys aren't right for each other. Mm-hmm. And if they say that that's their rule, accept that that's their rule.
Yeah, and there's no weird rules or boundaries. Everyone has their rules and boundaries. So if a couple is making you feel weird and be like, well, why is that a rule and boundary for you? That's a red flag.
Oh, yeah.
That's a get the fuck out. Like, you need to not be in those situations. And so any respectable couple is going to respect your rules and boundaries, no matter what it is. And I mean, there's unique rules and boundaries, and that's totally valid. That's what's so amazing about a lifestyle, is you get to choose what's best for you and your partner, and you get to do that with other couples who respect that. And so, yes, just don't be too pushy. And also on the other side, let's say that you're a couple and somebody is the one pushing you, stand up for your boundaries. Don't be like, well, you know what, this one time maybe it is okay. If someone is making you feel that way, stand up for yourself. Say that, like, no, we don't do that. And if they make you feel uncomfortable, say that we're going to remove ourselves from the situation. Because there's nothing worse than be like, well, maybe it is okay this one time, and then leaving, regretting an experience, and you can't take that back.
This podcast is brought to you by us, Bella and Jase. If you're going on a vacation, or maybe you have a gift that you want to give your other lifestyle friends and you're looking for lifestyle clothing, we have the best apparel on the market for you. We have not only clothing, bikinis, swimsuits, we have backpacks, tumblers, cups, anything that you can name, we probably have it. You can find that at foreplay.com/shop.
Let's say you're at a party, you're going on vacation, things are moving a little bit slow. Maybe you want some conversation to flow. Maybe you want to move stuff towards play. Well, we have the perfect game for you. It's called Foreplay the Game. It is a digital and physical lifestyle icebreaker game, and you can find out all about it at foreplay.com/games. That's number 4, OURPLAY.com/games.
If you don't have a lifestyle vacation planned, a resort or a cruise planned, why not? You can join us. You can find that at foreplay.com/playcation. We have not only information about the events and trips that we'll be on this year, but also other options for you as well. And it doesn't cost any extra for you to book through our links, but helps us a lot, helps us continue to be able to make this type of content for you. And lastly, we do offer coaching now. And so we do 2-on-2 relationship coaching for the lifestyle. This can be for if you're completely new in the lifestyle, not sure exactly where to start, but wanting somebody to walk you through it. Or maybe you've been in the lifestyle for a while, hitting a lull, or you just need some advice. We are there to help. And you can find that at foreplay.com/coaching. Now back to the show.
Another thing is just not taking care of yourself. Just a lack of hygiene or a lack of self-care that can possibly make you unattractive to other people. Not saying that you have to fit a specific look or a specific body type or conform to a specific way, but just look presentable. Look like you put effort into your looks or what you're wearing, and even like what we were saying earlier with confidence. Look like you have confidence. When you come off as someone who doesn't really look like you put any effort into your appearance, or you look like you let go of yourself or whatever it is, and you're not confident, and so you just feel other people are not going to be as attractive to that. So you could be coming off as undesirable, or you could be feeling undesirable if you're doing that and it's coming off in that way.
Yeah, and it's not saying that okay, dress to impress, dress your best. It's not always about just wearing what's trendy or what's this. It's also about, like Bella said, it's about wearing what makes you feel the most confident. So if you have, this unique style that's very you, it's not like we're saying, well, you need to dress this certain way. No, if that's what makes you feel good and that's what makes you feel, the best and confident, that's what's going to work best.
Just wear it with confidence.
Yes.
Because if you're trying to wear something and that's what you feel like you want to wear, but you're coming off as I feel weird wearing this, or I feel weird looking this way, you're going to come off as unconfident.
Yeah. And something we do hear a lot is, and it's something that we also feel like we do see, is where one partner puts out a lot more effort than the other partner.
Yeah, mismatched partners.
Yes, maybe a wife that really is dressing to the nines and taking care of herself the best, and a husband that doesn't exactly match that. And the opposite, maybe a husband that's taking such good care of himself, and then the woman looks like she's not putting out any effort, right? Whichever version of that it is these couples that don't quite match. And I feel like that's something we hear quite a bit. So that is something where it's maybe if your partner if you're putting out so much effort and your partner's really putting out no effort, you might also be coming off that way to other couples, because people are well, they're not both putting out their full best self.
Just being honest here, it's a 4-way connection. And so if it typically is in a typical lifestyle couple, right? Sometimes the husband will not look as good as the wife. And then that's difficult for other couples where the other wife or the other woman in the relationship, if they're wanting to do things with other men and they're not attracted to the male part of that couple because that person looks so opposite of their partner. I mean, you just can't be offended by that if that's the type of couple that you are. Does that make sense? So in the most polite way possible, just know that's a reality. So if you as a couple feel like you're not getting matches, it could be because you are a mismatched couple, and it's hard for other people to be attracted to both of the people in the couple if they look so opposite of each other.
Yeah, just know that everyone is not going to be everyone's type, and that's okay. And we just recommend that if you're trying to make the most matches, to put out the most effort you can to look your best, look your most presentable, and look your most confident.
And that's going to look different for everybody, because I want to make this clear that we're not saying you need to conform to a specific look or anything like that. Just be the best version of yourself, whichever way that is for you, and have confidence in that.
Yeah, and I mean, to me, those are a few really major reasons. Like, if you guys really like this podcast, I'm sure we can come up with even more, but these are some of the ones that came to the forefront of our head of things that really can make you unappealing to other people. But the good thing is, all of these things are very changeable. All of these things are something that you can avoid, and you don't have to be pushy. You can make connections, you can be your best self, you can do all of these things, and they're all pretty easy things to change. And yeah, I think a lot of the times it's just a thing of that we're not always aware that we're doing something, right? Like, for the example of sitting there and talking to each other and you look, unapproachable. I don't think that most couples that are sitting there think they look unapproachable. I think they want people to come talk to them, and they're scared. So I think some of these things aren't even a change because like you're doing something like incorrectly. I think that you're just some of these things you're coming off in a way you're not meaning to. And maybe you think that being a little bit more pushy, maybe that's your style of flirting, right? But like, people don't always take that way. So you need to be aware that people need connection sometimes. And so hopefully these things just gave you some sort of insight, and maybe you notice, hey, I'm kind of doing this in a way, or I'm doing this in a way, and it's something that you can alter, and maybe that will help you have more success in making those connections over time.
Exactly. So hopefully that helps. And we are going to go ahead and move into Bella and Jase's weekly. Why are you not saying anything? You gave me a solo.
No, because you started doing so good, I just got nervous. Okay, let's do it again.
Your mouth was moving and no sounds are coming out.
It's because like you started singing so good that I didn't know how to match.
Good, sure.
I didn't know how to like match you what you were doing, and then I don't know, I froze. I got stage fright. Okay, let's try it again.
Bella and Jase's weekly obsession.
Was that from Enchanted?
Weekly of yes. Obsession.
All right, why don't you go first?
All right. My first obsession is this. I'm using it right now.
You've been using it for like a while.
Yeah, I use it all the time. I take it everywhere. It's now my emotional support fidget toy, and it's called a Nido. N-E-E space D-O-H, like Play-Doh, but N-E-E.
And it's also kind of like Nido. Like, it's cool.
Yeah, it's cool. It's like foreplay. It's so many entendres.
Yeah.
Quadruple entendres.
Yeah.
If you didn't know, that's what foreplay is. Maybe we should say it. We should bring it back out. Because some people don't know. Is it foreplay? Is it 4-hour play?
It's foreplay. But you can, so it's like the word, like F, like foreplay, like you're.
Well,
like,
it's spelt the number 4. O-U-R-P-L-A-Y.
Yeah. And the first reason is because it's foreplay. Like what you do before sex, foreplay.
Yeah.
It could be 4-hour play. So like that would be kind of like.
Well, it's not saying it could be. That's just another entendre of it.
Yeah, so I'm saying you can take it any of these ways.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. Okay.
So like that's 4-hour play. Like this is our play that we're sharing, right? So like 4-hour play. It can also be, someone said one time that it's 4-hour play session. Like 4-hour, H-O-U-R, play.
That's a lot. We don't do 4-hour play sessions, but some people could.
You could.
And another one is 4 people playing.
Yeah.
So 4 play. You know what I mean? 4 people. So there's lots of entendres. Anyway, so this Nido thing, it is also Nito, but it's called a nice cube. Nido nice cube, and it's kind of like a stress ball, squishy slime mesh of things. It just feels so nice in my hand, and I just squeeze it and you can stretch it, and it's such a good consistency, but I freaking love it. So highly recommend if you are a fidgety kind of person. I've been literally using it the entire time we've been recording this podcast, and so that's my first obsession. They
I
do
also
have.
say, oh, I also will say that I think it's really good if you're a kind of person who likes to watch movies, but you need to do something to stay awake so you don't fall asleep. I feel like it gives you something to do. I feel like you've been doing that, and I think it helps you stay awake if you're wanting to stay awake without doing something else. It's kind of something that's, you know.
Yeah, it's just nice. I'm hoping it doesn't give me arthritis or something, but I'm also wondering if it combats getting arthritis because I'm not
Are you saying arthritis?
Arthritis? No.
I thought you said arthritis.
No,
Like 4
arthritis?
syllables. Arthritis.
I don't think so. I think I was saying.
Well,
I guess you'll have to
recorded,
play it back. But because I'm moving it in so many ways, I think it's not gonna give me arthritis. Maybe it's going to help me prevent it, but maybe I should also use it with my left hand.
You should. And you
Okay.
should probably not use it all the time.
I'm not using it all the time, just when I'm doing things like recording a podcast.
Or driving in the car.
No,
Or watching
when I'm
a
riding in the
movie.
car,
Yeah.
I don't
Well,
use
you don't
it.
drive, so
Yeah,
you're
I
always
don't
riding in the
drive.
car. All right,
Okay.
what's your other weekly obsession?
My other weekly obsession is making charcuterie boards. Guys, I'm really good at it. I made my
I can
first.
put a picture in.
Yeah,
In the
yeah,
show
yeah. Put a
notes. I'll
picture
in
in.
the show notes.
I made my first charcuterie board for a family little get together thing, and it is so fun. And
It was beautiful.
we need to have more get-togethers. So invite us to your parties so I can bring a charcuterie board, obviously. But I would love to make a big grazing board sometime, or a grazing table. Sorry, not grazing board. And it's just so fun, and it's so delicious. And there's so many different ways that you can do it, and so many different ingredients and things that you could use, and it's just classy and fun. One time I did do a dessert charcuterie board. So you know what we should do? Charcuterie board, but fruits and vegetables. fruits and desserts charcuterie board for lifestyle.
Yeah,
I
think
should
that sounds like a good
coin
idea.
them. I should make a YouTube video.
How to make a swinger charcuterie board.
Yeah.
And then you have condoms next to it, so you can just.
Ew, on it? Oh my god, a condom charcuterie board.
Oh, she's
Like a play charcuterie board.
There's
What does
there's
a charcuterie mean?
And there's
Yeah, different toys.
there's
Pick it up. A grazing.
There's just butt plugs, just
Exactly.
and everyone goes before you play. It's
and,
just
and
grab,
wet wipes.
Oh
Like,
yeah,
as the salami.
grab your charcuterie toys for the charcuterie.
Charcuterie board. That is a charcuterie. Charcuterie. Okay, what are your obsessions?
My obsessions are 2 of them. One, so I know you had an obsession at one point of Sabrina Carpenter, her short and sweet album, but I'm going more specific here. And I'm going with Taste, the music video. Taste is my favorite song on the album, and I also really love the music video. And I love Sabrina for a long time. I really like Jenna Ortega. I feel like I've seen a lot of her movies, and I just feel like she's a great actress, but the music video itself was just really, really fun.
It lends itself to, because I think Jenna Ortega has become a scream queen. She's been in a lot of.
Is she a scream queen? She doesn't ever scream. I feel like she's just kind of like a Tim Burton interesting character. I thought Scream Queen was the horror girls who
That's what she is. She is a
scream.
horror girl. I don't know. I think she screams a lot.
In what?
But in X, she did. She was in
screamed in
Scream.
X?
She's literally in the movie
Oh, I
Scream.
haven't seen Scream.
So
Okay, yeah, you're probably
yeah,
right.
she's become a lot more in the horror genre, and so I loved that the music video lended itself to being more horror.
I really enjoyed that music video, and I love the song Taste. And so that's been my other obsession. And that is some reasons that maybe you are not, finding matches, and maybe you're not being the most appealing to everyone in the lifestyle. So hopefully
Just to
those give
everyone,
you
to some people.
To some people, yeah. And so hopefully that gave you some talking points, or, it was entertaining. But yeah, thank you guys so much for listening, and we'll hit you guys with the outro.
Bye.
If you'd like to support the show, you can leave us a 5-star review wherever you're listening to our podcast. All our information will be listed in the show notes below and on our website, fourplay.com. That's number 4, OURPLAY.com.
Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel where we make videos and vlogs about the swinging lifestyle. Head to foreplay.com/YouTube to watch and subscribe. We have the ultimate adult party game for the sexually inclined called Foreplay the Game that's both digital and physical. It's perfect for breaking the ice and spicing up any party. You can find more information at foreplay.com/games. We also have the best swinger lifestyle, kinky, and adult humor clothing and accessories that you can find at foreplay.com/shop. If you're looking to plan a lifestyle destination, booking through our links at foreplay.com/travel really helps support the show and helps us be able to continue to create this type of content for you. We're on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Twitch, and more. You can find all our current social media accounts at foreplay.com/socials, and I have an OnlyFans which you can find at onlyfans.com/BellaLunaVIP. We also have a Facebook group and Discord community and would love for you to join us. You can find the direct links in the show notes below. Lastly, we're on STC and Cassidy at Foreplay, and you can get a free full membership trial by using our link. You can email us at hello@foreplay.com with any questions or comments, or head to foreplay.com/ask. Again, all our information will be listed in the show notes below, and we thank you so much for listening to our podcast. See you in the next one. Bye!